25 days until the insolvency cliff. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because we're going to talk about the insolvency cliff. Now, if you've been following the news or this channel, you realize that businesses have the ability to trade while insolvent until the end of this year, and frankly, it is the thing that scares me the most. Now, it's probably due to my bias of being a small business person and having to chase people for invoices that I don't like the idea of people being able to trade while insolvent. Now, what is the meaning of insolvency? And I'll just bring this, I'll bring up this here, this little chart from Google, and we'll have a look at this. And this is from Investopedia. So it's simply the state of financial distress in which a business or person is unable to pay their bills. That's what it is. Now, I have a company, and every year I need to sign, pay a form and sign some stuff to ASIC saying that I'm not trading while insolvent. It means I can pay my bills when they fall due. Now, I know you don't always get your bills paid when they fall due, but still. So, what I've done is I've got some data. Now, this is from, and I'll just get the name here so I get it right, the Australian Financial Services Authority. They're releasing data every fortnight. Their bankruptcy and personal insolvency statistics. So I've gotten their data and I've mapped it here just to have a look. And this is from the 16th of November until the 29th of November 2020 personal insolvencies. And these are some people who may have been in business or may not have been, but in different industries where they've worked or they've been involved in. And in Queensland we've had 100, and I'll pick a colour that isn't the same colour that I've coloured it in, 118 personal insolvencies. In New South Wales, we've had 124. So Queensland and New South Wales are right at the top there. We're going gangbusters for all the wrong things. Perhaps, well, Queensland particularly, I'd argue it's to do with our dependency on tourism. Victoria's at 56, less than I would have thought. South Australia at 22. Western Australia is at 39. Northern Territory is at 0. And Tasmania is at 14. And I haven't forgotten the ACT, they're at 2, but it's not coming up here on this map. Now, what I thought would be interesting, okay, these numbers are important, but let's go back in time and compare it to the same time last year. So what are we sitting at? What percentage of personal insolvencies are we getting now compared to then? So we are running, like Northern Territory is red hot because they have 0% of the insolvencies compared to this time last year. Queensland, we've got 46%. So we're high here with personal insolvencies, but we, if all things being equal, we're still at 46% of those. The ones that have the lower numbers are bad, are worse, because that's, one would argue, room to grow. New South Wales is at 47. So Queensland and New South Wales still over half the people that should be going insolvent aren't now compared to this time last year. What's going on? Has it improved that much since this time last year? No, it hasn't. It's been government support, government stimulus, JobKeeper propping up businesses. Victoria, only 36%. You could argue that's because Victorians are locked away at home for some time. South Australia, 42. Western Australia, 35. And Tasmania is at 56. Well, ACT is a bit high. I can't quite remember what it is. Another thing to look at is this line here. I've charted out all the data we've got from every fortnight from 2019, 1st of July to now, to the latest data that's been released. Now, there's 3 industries that we're highlighting here. We've got the retail trade, which is the yellow line, construction sector, which is the orange line, and healthcare and social assistance, which is the light grey line. Now, if I draw right about here, roughly say here, this axis here is for the black line, which is the total for Australia, the number of insolvencies, personal insolvencies. We can see here 800 roughly, through the guts of it, is the average. But we can see, look at this trend line here. Look where that's going. Look how that is just plunging. How it's just going further, lower and lower and lower. This is showing you that people aren't having to aren't having to go insolvent, aren't having to put all these schemes in place because well, some people are better off. Some people are propped up. Some people haven't lost their job. Some people are on JobKeeper. Some people are getting the job seeker bonus. But look at this, even all of the industries are going down. All of them are going down. And we've entered the first recession in 28 years, everyone. The first one in 28 years. So these are the personal ones. So what concerns me is that we're pretty much half the number of people that should be going insolvent are. Half the number. And it's across all industries, and it's trending down. So what happens next year? What happens when these government interventions into the economy start disappearing? What happens when the insolvency cliff, the ability for businesses to trade while insolvent, disappears? Now let's have a look. Let's look at the number of companies. So this is the ASIC data. This is from the Australian Security and Investment. This is companies entering external administration. Now, this is going right back. I've taken it back to 07, 08, so we can see the tail end of the GFC. It did impact some businesses. But here's the trend line. So it's steadily trending down. But look at this. You look where we are. The trend line's between 2.5 and 2,000 over this time period of 12 years. Now, so the September quarter of 20 to 21, the number of companies entering external administration are under 1,000, everyone. Under 1,000, when we should be between 2.5 and 2,000 according to the trend line, even though it's been all over the place there. So what do you think is going to happen next quarter? Shoot up or go sideways? I think they're going to be companies that are going to be wound up. Or what happens when the government stimulus disappears? Will it even be possible for them to remove JobKeeper? Or will the shock be too hard? Will it become a political football that'll get kicked from one party to another? Now here we have, this is the number of companies entering administration. Okay, and this is in the September quarter for the financial year of 2021. And we can see here, leading the way is New South Wales at 365. Remember, this is pretty much half of where it should be, guys. Should be up here, we're down here. Queensland is 166, sorry, but Victoria 284. Tasmania's got nothing. South Australia 27, Western Australia 79, Northern Territory are 2. And I'll just jump over here and we'll see ACT is ACT. How many do they have? 32. 32. So they're a little bit bluer than some of the others. Now, this chart I've made, or this map, is showing the percentage of the average. So what I've done is I've looked at the average for each state. So the average over this time, and this data goes way back to 98, this data. So the average for the whole country is 1,994. And we're only sitting at, under 1,946. So the states, their share of the average, Queensland is 45% of the average. So again, under half of what you think should be happening. New South Wales, under half of what should be happening. I think the NT... Sorry, wait. The ACT is just slightly, they're 32. So they're just actually at 103%. They're running hot. They're running hot over the average. So even though here it doesn't look as impressive, compared to the average, ACT is having more companies enter administration. It's above average for the first time since, what, 98. There you go. Different way to look at the data, isn't it? Victoria's 53%. Western Australia at 52. So you can see here. Tasmania 0%. So what's happening there to the businesses? So for Tassie, we go over here. We can see this column's Tasmania. The average is 14 businesses or 14 companies entering external administration. So it's significantly below that at 0 during this quarter. South Australia at 34% and Northern Territory at 22%. Now the question you have to think, since we're so far below the average, does that mean when these trading while insolvent provisions change, there's going to be a lot more work for these businesses that are, these external administrators? Is this downward trend that we're seeing up here, is it going to shoot up, guys? Are we facing a insolvency cliff that will be set off beginning of next year, and it'll play out in that quarter? I mean, this is the most current data that I've got access to from ASIC, so we'll have to see. But it is concerning, particularly if we look at the trend. So this is why when we're seeing everything is hunky-dory, everything is great in the news, when you're getting the real estate articles we're reading, all of these spruikers are saying it's fantastic, it's going to the moon, jump in, jump and buy. And then I look at stuff like this, and the only conclusion I can come to is that we have a significant K-shaped economy, or we have a lot of people that might be entering into the housing market that don't realize that what could be coming. What do you think, guys? Do you think it's all fine? Do you think these businesses are suddenly doing good, that we're suddenly at such a lower level of insolvency or external administration compared to the average? What's going on? We're in the first recession in 28 years. So it has to be the government stimulus. Then the question is, will there even be a political will or a capacity to wean us off that? Is it a trap? If, the current LNP government weans us off that and we start really feeling the recession, will they quickly turn the tap back on? Because you've got to remember, these are politicians, they're political creatures. They'll move with the wind. They'll be affected by the polls. This is going to be interesting, the next federal election. It certainly will be. So I thought we'd have a look at this, guys. Let me know what you think. What do you reckon? Do you think this is a good sign or a concerning sign for the economy? For me, it's a little worrying. We're not doing that good to warrant such below average performance in our insolvency game or external administration game. Come on, guys, we've got to lift up. We've got to lift up the game. As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. When do you think we'll see the impact of this insolvency cliff? Or will there be more intervention from the government to keep everything going? As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there's a few ways you can support us. Simply interacting with the channel, liking, sharing the content, getting it out there is a great way to help us grow. You can support the channel financially via joining on YouTube or Patreon using any of the affiliate links you can find down below from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or even AussieBroadband. You can buy a merch from Teespring or HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye for now.